Oh, hi kids. Welcome back. I was just reading in the Bible about a man named Paul. Do you know in these times, a Jew was somebody that loved and followed God? And of course, that would have made God very happy. The problem was that they started adding to God's rules and even making their own new rules more important than God's. Some of them began to even boast how good a Jew they were. They loved to boast about the following things: the family you were born from, the rules and ceremonies you had done, the teaching you had had, and the work or things that you had done as a Jew. The better these things you had done, the more you could boast about. Let's have a look and see if Paul had any of these things that he could have boasted about.
According to Jewish standards, I was born into a really good family. I'm a Hebrew, and even from the tribe of Benjamin. And being from that tribe means that people like King Saul, Queen Esther, and even Joseph, the one with the colored coat that is, are all my relatives. I've done all the ceremonies that a Jew has to follow, even from the age of 8 days old. I know all the laws that a Jew should follow, and I even joined the Pharisees to make sure that others follow the law too. I've had the best training. I know Hebrew, and know all the laws that a Jew should follow. I've done great works, and even suffered greatly. I have been shipwrecked, robbed, jailed, stoned, and even gone hungry. But all this I can boast about.
At that time, many of the religious men were boasting about themselves, about how great they had done and how well they were keeping the rules. As we can see, Paul had even more to boast about than they could have. So let's see what Paul said to them.
I could boast about the great family I come from, but I count this as garbage in comparison to knowing Jesus. I could boast about how much laws I follow, but I count this as garbage in comparison to knowing Jesus. I could boast about how much training I've had and how much I know, but I count this as garbage in comparison to knowing Jesus. I could boast about how much I've done and suffered, but I count this as garbage in comparison to knowing Jesus.
Paul could have boasted about many things, but do you know what he chose to boast about?
His smashing good looks.
Ooh, his amazing singing abilities!
Really? His piles of money.
Ooh. I know! His weaknesses!
No. His house. I think it was his phenomenal ability to pronounce people's names.
Ooh.
Xerxes. Nebuchadnezzar.
Ooh. Paul.
Really?
What about all the stamps he had in his passport?
Oh, his amazing ability to take these great selfies.
Misha, they didn't have cameras in those days.
Actually, Paul chose to boast about, drum roll please, his weaknesses.
That's what I said!
She did.
It seems really weird that out of all the things that he did, he would choose to boast about his weaknesses. But let's read 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9, and find out why. I am glad to boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ can work through me.
What? That doesn't make sense. Who would boast about their weaknesses?
It does seem a bit strange that Paul would want to boast about his weaknesses, especially because there were so many other things he could have boasted about. But let's take a look at these gloves to help us understand. Take a look at this glove. It's really stiff. Do you think this is a strong glove?
I think so,
Looks
yeah.
strong to me.
But is this glove actually useful?
It could hold the door from slamming.
But that's not a glove's purpose.
Yeah.
That's true. So even though this is a strong glove, I can't really use it. What about this glove?
It's so floppy.
It looks so weak. But that's what a glove is supposed to look like.
We might say that this glove isn't really strong because it's not stiff like this glove. But I can actually use this glove to do things.
Ah.
So, do you think this glove is strong? Because it's so weak and flexible?
Oh, hey, there's that word again. Even a weak glove can be used to do great things.
Exactly. It's not the glove that's doing anything. It's me. I can do great things using this glove. And it's exactly the same with us. God wants to use our weaknesses to do great things. He wants us to be flexible.
Hello? Hello, is this thing on? How did you get into my computer?
Hi, Zeb. You've joined our Zoom class. We're actually talking about boasting about our weaknesses. Zeb,
You've muted yourself.
Zeb, you're on mute, Zeb.
Can you hear me now? Is it on? Testing? 1, 2, 3.
Yes, Zeb, we can hear you.
Weaknesses? What kind of weaknesses?
Well, sometimes I feel like I can't pray for people because I don't know big fancy words. How can God use me?
That's okay. Because when you pray and God answers that prayer, people will see that it wasn't you, but it was God that was answering that prayer. It was His power.
Wow.
Well, I don't know the Bible well enough to teach others about God. Do you think He can use that weakness to speak to people?
Definitely, Blue. When God gives you the wisdom to understand a verse that you would have never thought you could understand, then God's power will be shown through you.
Quiet, Zeb. You're making such a noise, man. Quiet. Oh dear. You can see that I get really angry sometimes. Can I still be used by God?
Definitely. When God gives you patience and people around you see how patient you are, they will know that God is using you. Umpile, were you trying to say something?
Well, I'm too scared to tell others. What if I get it wrong or they laugh at me? Even Zeb is laughing at me now.
I am? Are you all still there?
No, Umpile, don't worry. Zeb wasn't laughing at you. But it's okay, because even if he was, when God gives you confidence and God gives you courage, then people will see His power through you.
And then they'll boast about him for sure.
You see, guys, sometimes we think that the things that make us weak or the things that mean God can't use us are actually the things that God wants to use. He wants to use our weaknesses so that people can see His power working through us.
Well, I'm going to trust Him to use my weaknesses.
Me too.
Yes, me too.
I want to be used by God too.
That's awesome. Thanks for an amazing time together, guys. I'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Hello? Hello? Anyone there? Hey! Where did you all go?
It's so shiny.
What's amazing is now that every time I see a glove, I'm going to think of how Jesus can use me and my weaknesses. That reminds me, we've got to put something in our ark this week. What about surgical glove? I'm going to show you how. I'm sure you can find one lying around somewhere. So first we're going to blow it up. Watch. So now that you've got your glove blown up, you can say the memory verse using the fingers on the glove. This is how the verse goes. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. And then they all pop up. Let's do that again. I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. That's so much fun. Let's go again, really fast this time. I am glad to boast about my weaknesses so that the power of Christ can work through me. Now you can put this surgical glove into your arc box and you can always remember how to say that memory verse. Bye!
Oh, that's a good one.
Hey, Andy.
Hi,
What's
Brandon.
up? What are you doing?
Oh, I was looking at the joke of the week.
Oh, yeah, man. What is the joke? Who sent it?
Well, it's from Sadie, and she's 11. The joke says, what is a cow's favourite restaurant?
Is it Milky Lane?
Ooh, that's a good one, but no. It's muchachos.
It's amazing. Cool, guys. Thank you, Sadie, for that one. Please remember to send an email with your name, your age, and your joke to the email below. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.